Topics in Management Accounting, the complete course. This is Ken Boyd, the owner of St. Louis Test Preparation. Here's our email address and our cell phone number. And you can also find me now on Facebook. Look for St. Louis Test Prep, our business page. One thing I've discovered from feedback from YouTube videos is that I think there's a way to be more effective in teaching management accounting to give some better instruction. What you find if you watched any of my videos is that I usually introduce a concept, on PowerPoint, and then I use Excel to explain the point. And when I'm in Excel, we go from one section of the spreadsheet to another to explain how all the numbers and sections of the spreadsheet relate. I think that is something that is woefully missing in most instruction in accounting. It needs to be on an Excel spreadsheet connecting the dots, whether it's T accounts, journal entries, or a schedule. The other thing I think that's missing is there's a need to relate the topic to something you already know. Accounting is largely a new language for people, and I think relating it to something they already know is extremely important. And finally, I think it's very important to do the same problem from different directions. If you think of learning the formula distance equals rate times time back in middle school, and we solved for one of the variables when the other two variables were known. So in the same way, we learn by solving different parts of the question as variables. Think of contribution margins. Sometimes we know sales and the other numbers are given. Sometimes we know variable cost and the other numbers are given. That's the way we learn, solving it from different directions. So we've started this comprehensive program, and here's how the course is taught. We do 1-hour sessions. We do them in 1-hour blocks on a weeknight, usually 7 p.m. Central Time, or on a weekend on a Saturday. And we do it once per week, and that happens over about a 3-week period, although in our summer session I skip the 4th of July weekend. We do it in GoToMeeting.com, which is very easy to access. You simply link onto a website and enter an access code. You can see my screen and hear my voice. And it takes a minute or two to download the software. It's easy to use. Lots of my students who I do one-on-ones with like it and don't have too much problem with it. If you can't watch the live chat, the sessions will also be recorded, and we'll archive them, and we can give you the recorded session as well. I want to jump over to Excel here and show you the topics that we're going to cover in management accounting. If you saw the essential topics in cost accounting, it's similar in that we do it in 3 1-hour sessions. And these are based on the most often asked, the most accessed videos on YouTube. So these are the subjects that people who watch the videos on YouTube most often access, request, and watch. So in class 1, we cover the basics: revenue recognition, job costing, how do we figure costs per job, and then particularly in a manufacturing environment, tracking costs from raw materials to work in process to finished goods. Course 2, we get into budgeting. Part of budgeting is pricing. We talk about cost-based pricing. We talk about a cash budget and how cash flow affects the budgeting process. And finally, relevant costs, which we define as relevant, meaning important to the decision that you're making, as opposed to sunk costs, past costs that are not relevant. And finally, we talk about pricing and profit decisions. If somebody approaches you and asks you to do a special order, for example, should you take it or not, and what are the factors that would allow you to decide whether or not the special order is profitable? We talk about contribution margin in more detail. We've seen that before, and we talk about it now in terms of whether or not we should take on a particular piece of work. And finally, product mix. If you think about the Hallmark store, there's different profit margins on the Hallmark cards versus the candles and the other things they sell in the store. Each one has its own profit level. Therefore, you need to think about the mix of the products that you're selling. So we just showed you the Excel document that we're referring to here in the PowerPoint. The courses are repeated year-round. The schedule I just showed for Excel happens to be our summer course, but we repeat it year-round. And my goal is to take the most asked topics on YouTube and take an hour block of time and go into more detail, use more examples, with the ultimate goal that you walk away with a better understanding of this information. I think the course is appropriate for anybody who is in an accounting course now, has one coming up, or somebody who needs a refresher. How to sign up? You can find us on Facebook. The other way to sign up is you can go to my email address or my phone number at the beginning of the page. As a reminder, our YouTube channel, Ken Boyd STL, has all of our videos. We have a complete list of videos in a Word document on our website. The website is stltest.net. And finally, we also do live tutoring and chat sessions on a one-on-one basis, in addition to what we're describing here, which is small group, no more than 10 people, and an hour at a time. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next time.